Have you ever stopped to think about what makes a ghost story really scary in our world today? A world where we're connected all the time? Well, that's what we're diving into. We're going to deconstruct a viral Hindi horror story called 3:33 a.m. And what makes this one so creepy is that the terror isn't in some old abandoned house. Nope. It's hiding inside the very technology we use every single day. Let's break down how it turns something so familiar into pure nightmare fuel.
So what is it that really gets under our skin in the 21st century? This story has a theory. It's not the ghost in the haunted house anymore. It's the ghost in the machine. And I mean the machine you carry around in your pocket. The real horror kicks in when the tech we trust without a second thought starts to glitch and twist our reality into something terrifying.
And our story starts in the most normal way possible, something millions of us do all the time, grabbing a cab home after a long day. And that's what's so clever, right? It starts with something so relatable, which makes the perfect runway for the horror that's about to take off. So, let's meet our protagonist, Nisha. She's 26, she's totally wiped out, and she just finished a really draining shift. The thing is, she's not some ghost hunter or a character in a movie. She's just a normal person, and that makes her instantly relatable, because we've all been Nisha, right? Just wanting to get home to our bed after a rough day.
So what does she do? Exactly what we do. Pulls out her phone, opens the app, books a ride. Everything looks normal. The interface is totally familiar. Driver's name, Mahesh Patil. ETA, 3 minutes. It's a routine we do almost on autopilot. And this is how the story perfectly grounds us in our reality, right before it rips that reality to shreds.
Okay, so this is where that feeling of normal starts to, curdle. The ride starts, and that sense of comfort and routine, it begins to fade, and fast. The story is so good at just layering on these small, weird details. We're not talking about a big jump scare here. It's this slow, creeping dread. First, the driver takes this weird, deserted road. Then, the radio starts playing a news bulletin from years ago. Then a billboard they just drove past shows up again. And then, the final straw, her lifeline, her phone starts to die on her. The GPS freezes up. The network bars, gone. Every little clue is just another crack in the foundation of her reality.
And this is where things get really intense. Just when Nisha is totally cut off by her failing tech, she gets one last, frantic connection to the world she thought she was in.
So her friend Sana calls, and suddenly there are two completely different realities crashing into each other. Nisha is positive she's in the cab, on her way home. But according to Sana, on the other end of the line, the cab was canceled and the security guard says Nisha never even walked out of the building. This is that moment where the floor just drops out from under you. Which one is real?
And then, bam. Just like that, her one link to sanity is gone. The call drops, the screen goes black, the phone is dead. The one thing that could have given her an answer has now just trapped her in this nightmare, leaving her totally, completely alone. So with her phone dead, her mind is just racing, trying to make sense of anything. And then she remembers something she barely noticed earlier, a quick glance at her trip history. Her last ride with this exact driver, Mahesh Patil, was on this exact date, July 2nd. But from last year. And suddenly all these weird little pieces start clicking into place, and the picture they're making is absolutely terrifying.
So here we are, at the climax of the ride. There's no technology to hide behind, all the clues are pointing to something impossible, and Nisha has to finally face the truth about who or what is actually driving this car. As they're driving onto this empty, dark flyover, the car's digital clock just freezes. It stops at 3:33 a.m. The numbers just blink. And yeah, it's a classic horror move, but man, it works. Time itself is broken, which is a pretty clear signal they are way, way outside the normal world now.
And then the driver, Mahesh, he finally speaks. And in this tired, almost sad voice, he tells her everything. That a year ago, on this very night, he was killed in a hit and run right near a little temple on the highway. He was just trying to finish his last trip and get home.
He says he's stuck, just trying to finish that last ride, over and over. And here is the absolutely brilliant modern twist. He says the ride-sharing app sometimes glitches, and when it does, his phantom profile shows up for late-night riders. The ghost isn't haunting a house, it's haunting the code of the app. And that taps into this very real anxiety we all have about the invisible algorithms that run our lives, right? These systems we trust, but we don't really get how they work.
Now, the story doesn't end there. It gives you this little moment of hope, a potential it was all a dream escape route, before it delivers one last, absolutely bone-chilling gut punch. All of a sudden, Nisha jolts awake on a bench right outside her office. Her friend Sana is there, saying she must have fallen asleep waiting for her cab, the one that got canceled. She checks her phone. It's 2:59 a.m. Battery's fine, full signal, everything is back to normal. It seems like it was all just a crazy, stress-induced nightmare. You can finally breathe a sigh of relief, right?
Wrong. That feeling of relief, it doesn't last long. As she's getting ready to leave with Sana, she happens to glance at her phone's photo gallery. And there it is, a new photo. And the timestamp is impossible to ignore. 3:33 a.m. The exact moment the clock in the car froze.
And the photo itself, it's pure nightmare fuel. It's a picture taken from her point of view, from the back seat of that car. But here's the thing. In the rearview mirror, you can see Mahesh's face, and he's looking right back at the camera, right at her. It's the proof, a digital ghost left behind from a supernatural glitch in reality.
So this story leaves us with this really chilling question that just completely blurs the line between a scary story and our actual lives. It literally writes a ghost story into the code of the apps we use every day. So the next time you book that last ride home in the middle of the night, who or what is really on the other side of that screen?